Now in this case, the first thing that we are going to do, we are going to use, get back to this background position. First of all, this is the BG bottom class that we are going to use. So we will be using here BG bottom. Press Ctrl S, get back to your project and reload, and you can see that this is the BG bottom property that has been practically working right over here, and the image is now positioned at the bottom. In the next case, instead of BG bottom, if we wish that our image, it should be taking place, this is the background image, that should be taking place in the right or in the left or in the central position, then all we need to do, we need to use those corresponding classes. So this is the BG center class that we will be working on. There it goes. Get back to your project and reload. This is the BG center class. In the next case, we are going to use this class of BG right. Reload. This is the BG right class. This is the BG left class which you have seen earlier. So reload, and there it goes. And the first default thing that you have witnessed here on reloading the page and without any of these positional classes over here, get back to your project. This is the position actually that you had witnessed in the previous case while there was no background positions mentioned into this CSS documentation. So this is the default class which is being actually used when there's nothing, no positional properties, the BG left property. In the similar way, we may use this BG right top property. There it goes. If we use this BG right bottom properties, press Ctrl S, get back to your project and reload. This is the BG right bottom property. In the next case, there will be BG left bottom property. There it goes. So everything has been defined into this CSS documentation, and you may make usage of it anytime you wish to use into your project. And on the other hand, if we talk about this responsive behavior, for say that for a certain breakpoint, for say for this mobile breakpoint or the SM breakpoint, you wish to use the background image into the extreme right position, and then let's have a look into it. Better we have a look into it. For say we are now using, this is the default position, this is the BG left bottom position which has been used as a default, and in the next case all we are going to do for this lower mobile segment, we are using BG top. For this MD breakpoint position, we are setting that it will be at the bottom. For the LG breakpoint position, we are setting that the background image should be taking place in the extreme right position. So we are mentioning this BG right. For this XL, we are mentioning that the BG will be positioned in the center position. So if we now press Ctrl S and get back to our project, first of all have a check that we have set this default property as BG left bottom. That means the image should be positioned in the left part and in the bottom part. So if we now get back to our project and reload, we can see that this is practically the larger desktop preview, and we have set this property for this larger breakpoint as this BG center. That means it will be, the background image should be occupying the central position of the particular viewport that you were using, and that is why it is it. Now if we press Ctrl Shift M, this is practically, there it goes. And right now it is not under any kind of defined breakpoints as been defined in Tailwind CSS. So in the first case, the default property that we set was left bottom. So that is why it is now being observed right over here in the bottom position. Now if we press 640 px, what will be the result? For 640 px, for this SM, we have put this image position to the top position, BG top. So if we get back to our project, we can see that under this condition, this 640 px condition, the image is on at the top position. In the next case, for this MD, we have put this image again into the bottom position. So if we now put here 768 px, we can see that the image is now placed again at the bottom position. In the next case, for this LG, we have provided this BG position to the right. So we will be getting back to the LG viewport. There it goes, 1024 px, and you can see that the image is right now placed in the right position of this particular container. And you already know the Excel dimension preview that you have witnessed before. It will be in the central position. The background image will be positioned in the central part of this particular container.